Several years ago, I was playing a game of Boo-Ray when someone peeked at my hand. I had just anteed up with a fistful of pennies, and he looks over my shoulder. "You can't win with that." He grabs my cards, throws them on the table, and my heart broke. It was quite ridiculous. I was squeezing back tears, wanting to play that losing hand. It took years to figure out my reaction. I eventually related it to my early days of adapting to motherhood. Our first child was born too soon, amidst tornadoes in the night. She was quickly admitted to the neonatal intensive care unit. And the next morning, a doctor told me, "Your daughter has an extremely small head. She might have trouble recognizing words and numbers." I was confused. I had no idea why we were discussing cognitive skills on day one. But it wasn't only her eyes, her head, her eyes. Her intestines were blocked. Her kidneys were malfunctioning. She would need surgery to live. But she wasn't well enough for surgery. And her eyes did not reflect light. She would be blind. When a child is born with 2 or more major anomalies, they are considered to have a syndrome. A worldwide genetics database revealed 9 cases like our daughter's. We didn't have a name for it. We were warned she might not eat, walk, or talk. And some syndromes are incompatible with life. Incompatible with life. I already fiercely loved our perfect little broken child who clung to me when I held her, but she might be incompatible with life. After 2 weeks, her condition improved and surgery was scheduled. Next to her incubator, we baptized her, Jolie Claire, and gave her up to God, the mystery of mysteries. The sacrament was truly a surrendering of our child. There was no white gown trailing to her toes. It was just the tubes and the wires and this green-tinged suction apparatus that would pull the gastric juices from her stomach so she wouldn't drown in her own fluids. A baptism mimics a near drowning, after which the baptized rise to live a new life. But there was a real possibility this baby would not survive surgery, and I had little faith in the promise of new life. My mother held on to hope for me. She'd tell me, "They don't know everything, Catherine. I see this little girl dancing and laughing. I even think she's going to see." I couldn't feel hope. I couldn't talk hope. But hope was there. It was somewhere in my muscles as I fell into the rhythm of scrubbing in daily to sit with our baby. Surgery was a success. Even so, it would take time for her to recover. We looked forward to chatting with nurses about her progress and helping with her care. One morning, my husband and I were in the elevator with a familiar hospital worker, and she turns to me and says, "Well, you're looking good today." My kind husband quickly responds, "She looks good every day." But the woman shoots back, "Oh, no, she doesn't." It was the first time we'd laughed in weeks. And those weeks felt like years. Jolie's intestines would slowly heal. But at the same time, she developed the signs of having an incurable liver condition. The doctor calmly detailed what to expect. Just when we had accepted the idea of raising a cognitively impaired, blind child, we were being told we wouldn't get the chance. Incompatible with life. My losing hand was being taken from me, and I almost folded. With nothing more to be done for her, Jolie was released to the warmth and grunginess of our home. Friends and family stopped by with love and casseroles. We continued with medicines, pediatricians scratching their heads, prayers, tears, more tears, and hope held by the fearless. Somehow, Jolie lived and thrived. She began crawling and uttering sounds. One day I was walking with her in a little pink stroller. As we passed an art museum, I heard, "Heart, heart, heart." And I saw her little finger pointing to a sculpture on the lawn that I'd seen before, but I hadn't really taken much note of. It's just these two circles of red metal tubing, slightly bent, but with her finger guiding me, I saw for the first time the lines rise up, forming a pair of hearts. Jolie is now 9 years old. Earlier this year, right here on this stage, in a dance recital, she executed 7 perfect rolls and 2.5 imperfect cartwheels. Just as my mother suspected, she laughs, she dances, and though we're not sure how clearly, she does see. Reading and math give her fits. But she loves telling me about what she's learning in science. Her younger sister, Cecile's only imperfection at birth was a small red fish-shaped mark on her belly. And her typical behaviors have taught me just how much of Jolie's development has been close to normal. Our third child, she was born with the same rare condition as Jolie. All the fears and doubts came back. We now had a name for it. It's called Strome syndrome. But we still had little information due to its rarity. Like many syndromes, there are variations, and Amelie was spared the eye problem, which seems to have made a difference in her development. My early years of motherhood were heavy with fears. Fears of blindness, fears of disabilities, fears of caring for sickly children. Living through these fears transformed me. I no longer pity people who endure major setbacks. I stand in awe at how they struggle and thrive. I have learned to not trust my fears and to stick tightly to people who hope. Because on the other side of the dark days, there is new life. There is joy. And yes, even dancing.